Saved by the Bell.
Super Radio Rundown.
We can happily end that segment saying it was Trent's fault. Okay. Moving on here. The Super Radio Rundown, Trent. And there's a lot going on in the world of entertainment. And let's start with Netflix. I'm a big Netflix fan. I think they lost something when they lost the Marvel shows, because I remember at the time one of the big reasons I got Netflix in the first place was because they had all those Marvel shows coming out. And you really wonder, well, what do they got going on? What's coming out? They've had some Ryan Reynolds movies coming out. They had the one with Ryan Reynolds and The Rock and Gal Gadot, and that was a pretty big movie. What was the name of that one? It was Red something. And recently you had the Ryan Reynolds time traveling movie. So they're putting out some movies with some stars, but I don't know if they're things to get super excited about. They still have some great shows to get pumped up about. Obviously Ozark, but that's about to end. But apparently not enough for a lot of people, Trent. Netflix has lost subscribers for the first time in over a decade. Don't cry, Trent. Are you sniffling for Netflix over there? I heard you get a little upset. Yeah,
it's so sad.
It's too much for Trent to handle.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like Netflix is hurtling towards a bumpy 2022 as the company recently revealed in a letter to its shareholders that over 200,000 subscribers have jumped ship this quarter. Not only that, but Netflix is also expecting to lose a further 2 million subscribers next quarter as well, which is pretty shocking when you consider the service hasn't actually lost subscribers since October 2011. Netflix puts the loss of subscribers down to the subscription cost increase in January and claims COVID-19 clouded the picture due to big subscriber gains in 2020. So Netflix supports that subscriptions were down 200,000 in total from last quarter. And also, it technically lost a whopping 700,000 subscribers due to suspending its service in Russia over the country's attack on neighboring Ukraine. So tough times if you're in the world of Netflix. One of the things you got to come up with and there's so much competition now. We talked about it last week, Trent. Disney Plus, Hulu, the list goes on and on and on. Amazon, so many streaming services out there right now. Paramount Plus, you just keep going on and on and on. So there's some competition now for Netflix, but I guess that's the American way, right?
Absolutely, yeah, that is the American way. It's not a lot of people. Excuse me. I use a lot of people use Hulu. I'm more of a Hulu person. I like what do they call it, Fubo TV. I like that kind of streaming service. I used to use Netflix a lot, but I really don't use it anymore.
Not that. Yeah, I find myself watching less Netflix. Like I said, I'm still definitely really looking forward to the end of Ozark here, but. Yeah, Netflix, they're going to have to start coming up with more ideas if they're going to compete with Disney Plus and Hulu and that whole thing. Because it's hard to beat that bundle.
I feel like there's more of a selection of shows on the other platforms.
Yeah, now that Hulu has that triumvirate with ESPN and Disney Plus, they have that bundle that they could package. You're just getting more bang for your buck. So if you're going to choose between those three services and Netflix, you're probably going to go with the Hulu, ESPN, Disney bundle.
And don't forget about Apple TV. You got to throw Apple TV in the mix because they're trying to compete. Like, for example, I'll talk about this in the sports, but the Rays White Sox game this past Friday night was not on the normal channel of Bally Sports Sun. It was actually on Apple TV. And we had to listen to dumb broadcasters who were, they were okay, but they weren't Dwayne Statz and Brian Anderson. And I got my whole opinion. I think, Apple TV is trying to take over the sports world, and, it's eliminating the people who don't want to pay for Apple TV and the streaming services. But anyway, that's neither here nor there.
I mean, and you missed the big news there. That's huge news. But also, did you hear this week? And we could talk about this more in sports too. But this is kind of the same conversation. We could talk about it here. With Apple TV, the NFL Sunday Ticket is fine. They've finally been able to cut their ties with DirecTV, and everybody knew that. I
did get that. Yes.
Yeah, everybody knew that was coming. And did you hear who's going to have the NFL ticket? It's going to be Apple TV.
So I guess that's definitely a pro.
That's a huge thing when you consider. I think for a lot of people who wanted to have something like the NFL ticket, you're a fan of an out-of-market team, and it's frustrating, and oh my goodness, in order to watch my team, I gotta drop not only $300 and change for this NFL Sunday ticket, which is a lot of money for the football season. But hey, people are gonna dole out the money, they want to watch their team. But not only did you have to do that, but you have to subscribe to a cable service, which is a much bigger deal than subscribing to a streaming service like Apple TV. If I have DirecTV, most likely I'm spending hundreds of dollars a month on this cable provider for a ton of channels I really don't even want. And then on top of that, when NFL season comes around, the reason I got the darn thing, which is to have the NFL ticket, now I got to drop another $300, on top of being, locked in contract with this cable provider. So I think it's better for NFL fans in the sense that, hey, now I don't have to subscribe to a cable provider. Now all I need is this one streaming service, which is like $15 a month rather than hundreds of dollars for DirecTV. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I'm with you. And I used to have my grandparents still have DirecTV. We don't have it anymore. We have Comcast. I'm sorry, not Comcast, Xfinity. We got Xfinity TV now. But I always enjoyed, whenever they did buy the NFL Sunday ticket one year. I enjoyed watching all of the games, but now we just watch NFL Red Zone, or I'll just keep it on like NFL Network during football games if I can't get the out of market games, because I do that for a couple of reasons. Excuse me. The main reason is I play fantasy football, so I have to make sure that that I know who's which one of my players is succeeding and which one is doing well, and all that kind of thing. So it's NFL Red Zone is definitely critical for what I do.
Oh yeah, and Red Zone's great, but if you're a fan of a specific team, I like Red Zone and I like jumping around the league and all of that, but I want to watch the Jet game. God help me, I don't know why.
You want to watch every aspect of it.
I don't know why I want to watch the Jet game, but I want to watch the Jet game. Can you imagine dropping $300 to watch the Jets, Trent?
I wouldn't.
I mean, let's be honest here, though. You are a Buccaneers fan. There were a lot of thin years there. So you know somewhat of what it's like to root for a team that's not getting it done.
No, I do, but then again, I've always, kind of always been in that Tampa Bay area for my entire life, so I can't say that I've had to buy a Sunday ticket in order to watch the Buccaneers, because they've always been on, except for the seasons that they were blacked out home game wise in the Tampa Bay area.
Oh yeah, so yeah, that's true. So
I'm only about an hour and a half east of Tampa, by the way.
You haven't really had to think about it, but hey, you're such a big fan. Let's say you move to another state, you would want to see your Buccaneer games, right? I mean, that would be.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. No, I understand. Especially now, it would be worth paying because Tom Brady's there.
Oh yeah, you don't want to miss these years. These are the it's not going to get much better than this.
Yeah, it could be our decline could be coming in 2023.
Well, it could happen, or you get somebody who's even better than Tom Brady. I'm sure there are good odds on that.
That's possible.
Maybe it'll happen. All right. So Trent, there is a beloved Taco Bell menu item that received 200 signatures to bring back. A bunch of people signed a petition. More than 200,000 people signed a petition to bring back something I've never had before, the Mexican pizza. So whatever that is, people brought it back.
Does it say what time?
Huh? Well, I don't know. I don't know anything about it. Let's see. I can tell you this: singer and rapper Doja Cat.
I know her. Baby, I need to know.
Oh yeah, break it down, Trent. Get down. Yeah.
Yeah, I know Doja Cat.
You know Doja Cat. The restaurant chain says she's the voice of the Taco Bell people.
Wow.
She made the announcement during a weekend concert about the pizza's return. A video of that announcement was shared on Twitter on Monday. Let's see. I think this is what she said. Like many Indian Americans who grew up vegetarian, we had limited access to the fun fast food. So Taco Bell became a bridge to belonging in American culture for many kids like me who grew up in immigrant households. Actually, that's a Taco Bell super fan saying that, not Doja Cat. So very disappointing. I'm not going to read this person's quote any longer because it's very long.
You got to give credit where credit's due, man.
Because it's a very long quote, and it's just not Doja Cat. So I'm not down with it.
That's a producer fail right there.
The major fail. I failed. So. Hey, apparently it's vegetarian because the Mexican pizza was a favorite among vegetarians as people who can order it without beef. So I guess you can have beef, which is preferred, I think. But
man, I gotta have the beef.
You got, or you're gonna ask, where's the beef? Where's the beef? So great news! There was finally a trailer for the new Thor movie. Which is pretty exciting, and it showed Jane Foster, aka Natalie Portman, as Thor for the first time. And I really dug the Lady Thor story arc. I actually read that, written by Jason Aaron, definitely one of the great comic book writers of all time. So basically, Jane Foster, who is the earthly love interest of Thor, she gets really bad cancer. And she refuses magical treatment, but eventually she's deemed worthy of Mjolnir, the mystical Uru mallet of Thor. And it was a great story arc. It was pretty fun. Also, what was great about that story arc was just the fact that Thor himself was unworthy to wield the hammer. So pretty cool. It was a good trailer. It was cool to finally get a look at Natalie Portman. All decked out as Lady Thor. Really looking forward to that next installment to the franchise. Thor's been on fire. Those movies are hilarious, and I'm sure this one will be pretty funny too. Let's see what else do I have here for you? More superhero movie news here. Sharon Stone joins DC's Blue Beetle as a villain. She's headed back to the DC universe because this happened before. I know everybody remembers, well, maybe not everybody, but back in 2004, there was a Catwoman movie starring Halle Berry, and yes, Sharon Stone was the villain in that movie, and I'm not sure what villain she's going to be in this movie, but hey, she's going to be in the movie, so Sharon Stone, she will be a part of the DC Extended Universe as a villain, in Blue Beetle. So that's pretty exciting there. Matt Reeves is trying to clean up some of the stuff with the Joker reference in the movie. A lot of fans really, you got the 5-minute deleted scene. By the way, you want to see my review of that deleted scene available, Super Radio Brother Highlights, YouTube. Go check it out. But Reeves he doesn't want to be married to the idea of having the Joker in the second installment of Robert Pattinson's The Batman. He doesn't want to be married to that at all. He says it was just kind of something out of the 1960s Batman TV shows where sometimes you would see these villains come together, and he thought it was a great way to end the Paul Dano Riddler arc. You know, I think. See, I don't agree with that. I think it was probably originally part of the plan, but after he got this guy in there to play the Joker, he realized, this doesn't work as good as I want it to, and he kind of abandoned the idea. That scene didn't even make the movie. Thank you. And you know. Anyway, Trent, that's Matt Reeves.
No, thank you.
What? Well, you're welcome. What did I do?
Yeah. I heard you say thank you, so I said no, thank you.
Well, all I can say is you're welcome. You're welcome, Trent.
Hey, no problem at all.
Oh my goodness gracious! But hey, sometimes you got to be polite, even when you're doing a show. And if I say thank you, you say
you're welcome.